Hello, you succulent, silly mother beep. How's it going? It's Guru. It's Chewy. It's ARPG episode I can't remember. We are going to be talking about some random stuff. Chewy wants to go on a rant about level 5, so we're going to let him do that at the end. We'll be talking about all the ifs, ants that happen in the anime world. We'll be talking about ants themselves as we laugh at our best friend. And we'll talk about what we watched this week. Anyway, Chewy, as per usual, how's it going?
Oh, my mic didn't work there. Weird. Doing great. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
That's good. How has things been this week?
Oh, just, great. Absolutely great.
Are you being sarcastic for a point?
No, it was an okay week.
That's good. Week here has been decent too.
I woke up
but yeah,
alive.
yeah, I know we're all alive. I have to wait a month to get my latest NHL jersey, so I'm a little disappointed about that. But actually this month I get to start saving up for a trip to Japan eventually, when coronavirus isn't eating the world.
And when the Olympics are done.
Don't worry, Chewy. I won't have money till the end of the year, so it'll be definitely when the Olympics are done.
Well, I won't be able to join you then at the end of the year.
Well, I mean, we don't even know when we're going. That's when yeah, you know what I mean.
Okay.
It probably isn't going to be till next year.
Oh, hopefully. We can all hope.
I mean, if the world gets its shit together. But I mean, there's hope. I mean, Canada apparently thinks we'll all be fully vaccinated by the end of September. Do I believe that for a second? No.
Does that mean the borders will be open? I don't know.
I mean, if people are fully vaccinated, then yeah, the borders probably will be open soon around then.
Yeah, but I mean for like every other country.
Oh, probably. You gotta remember, if people are fully vaccinated elsewhere, we don't even know what's happening in other countries, say like Britain, Germany, Japan, Spain. I mean, America's almost hit 200 million vaccinations. I think it is reasonable to believe that that once more people are vaccinated, the whole world's going to get, easier, if you know what I mean, right?
Sure.
But anyway, let's start talking about more depressing stuff. There was a big announcement. Madoka Magica's finally getting its sequel.
Wow. After how many years?
Well, Rebellion aired 8 years ago. So, yeah, no, it's been 8 years.
Almost a decade.
Yeah, no. And a lot of people are like, why doesn't Madoka Magica die? And I'm like, well, because it's still good.
Wasn't it
But no,
Butcher who wrote that? Hello?
Say that again?
Wasn't that Butcher that wrote that?
No, I think it was Kanpai Effect.
Really? Are we talking about the original one or the sequel?
What are we talking about again?
Madoka Magica.
Yeah.
Who's okay? So who's writing the sequel? And is it? And if it is Butcher, then wow. Okay, sad. Oh, something just did an alert again. Lovely.
I mean, if I'm looking at Madoka Magica right now, and let's see, where's Rebellion? If I remember, Rebellion was written by the same person.
So it means
there we go.
Butcher?
That's what I want to look at. Madoka Magica.
I love it, mommy.
I'm just scrolling down. Yeah, Rebellion was written by Urobuchi, so it's safe to assume. Yeah, no, it's our parent Wikipedia says it's going to be written by Urobuchi again.
Oh, well. Can't wait for Butcher to just kill us all again.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't think there is a big divide on Rebellion itself. A lot of people did not like how it ended.
Okay.
Because how it ended is pretty much sequel bait with Homer pretty much taking over the world to keep Madoka in it, in a sense.
All right, yeah.
Like, it's been a while since I watched it, but what? Oh, it's been a while since I watched it. But pretty much Homura finds a way to stop Madoka from, like, becoming the thing that stops Kyubey from taking everybody, if you know what I mean, right?
I have a relative idea.
Yeah. Yeah, because at the end of the series, Homura is like, I'm gonna protect the world Madoka cherished, and then all of a sudden in Rebellion, she's just like, no, I kind of want Madoka here, so I'm gonna rewrite it so Madoka's here, and I'm this evil thing.
Nice.
Yeah. And the only person who knows it is the blue-haired one. Oh, what the fuck's her name? Starts with an S. It starts with an S. Sayaka, that's it.
Oh.
And I've generally been wanting to see where Rebellion, continued, but it's been so fucking long, right?
Yeah.
Like, Rebellion released in October 2013. But the Magia Records show is getting a sequel too, which I'm looking forward to as well.
Which one's that one?
That was the one based off the phone game.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a spin-off of that. And it wasn't that bad, and it's had a second season confirmed. It's just, COVID.
I think I know the OP for that one, so yeah, it sounds familiar.
Yeah, Madoka Magica OPs tend to be pretty good.
Oh no, I really like this one. Played it on the Taiko no Tatsujin game.
I mean, the original Madoka OP was great.
Also, damn you, Bandai, for all these microtransactions. But yeah, cool.
But yeah, no, Rebellion was interesting.
Okay.
I liked it. I'm probably one of the few people that did like it.
Oh.
But this opens a question that I want to ask you, Chewy.
Okay.
Do you think that when do you think a series has run its course?
When do I think
the
series has run its course?
So, for example, how many
sequels is enough?
how much is too much? Like, we live like in the anime community, there's shows that go on forever, like One Piece, like Naruto went on for a long time. Bleach went on for a long time. So the question is, how much is too much? Do we because we always remember the days in like 2015 where like no anime rarely ever finished its entire cover material.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Like, remember, like years ago, you'd be lucky to see an anime cover everything, right? But now we're seeing like far more sequels being made every year. Like My Hero Academia's hit 5 seasons. Fucking Attack on Titan has hit over 4.
So wait, are you asking when is...
I'm asking, do we ever get to a point where there's just too much of one thing? Like, remember how I brought up that Can P Effect wrote an article saying Madoka should just die? Do you think that's fair, or do you think that's like we can never have too much of a good thing? Like, when are the returns, in a sense, going to decrease, if you know what I mean, right?
Okay, so you're not saying more on the lines, though, How many sequels is enough sequels for anime being broadcasted? You're just asking, or are you asking how much is the continuation of like original material too much?
Kind of, because what I'm wondering is, remember Breaking Bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's safe to say Breaking Bad ended at a perfect time, 6th season. It was 5 or 6 seasons, right?
Around there, yeah.
It's very common for shows to start losing quality as they go along, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Game of Thrones is a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the question is that a thing that happens in anime?
Oh, it could very well be, yeah.
Because it's weird. It's weird because we went for so long as anime fans not getting sequels, right?
Mm.
And now we're getting sequels all the fucking time. I mean, winter season was a perfect example of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering, will we eventually get to the point in anime where too much, like, a show just has too much? Like, it's got to the point of Game of Thrones where it's gone on for so long, the stories are starting to get bad.
Like, are you talking like the lines of like One Piece and stuff like that?
Kind of, but I haven't watched One Piece, so I don't know. But, like, if I'm going to be honest, I think stuff like One Piece is just silly.
Okay.
Because how many episodes does One Piece have right now? Let me go look. I'm sure Wikipedia will at least be able to tell me. All right, One Piece is on season 20, right?
Mm.
So let's see. There's just been as of May 9th. So when we're getting to May 9th, right? 973 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't that just feel a bit much?
I mean, sure. At the same time, you could also look at
Like, when does the law of diminishing returns come into effect, if you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, but you could also say that for freaking one of the other biggest shows that have just been kept on going on and has a bazillion movies as well almost at this point. Detective Conan, which is on season 29, and I believe there are over 927 episodes as well.
But yeah, no, that makes me wonder, will the law of diminishing returns really ever come to anime? Because it feels like it hasn't yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure in this case.
Like, Detective Conan has over 1,000 episodes. Over 1,000 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, will the law... Like, when I saw that article by Kanapa, I'm like, no. Because when you really think about it, we haven't seen anything from Madoka that much. The last thing we saw from Madoka was the game I just mentioned. Right? So I'm just thinking, is the law of diminishing returns something anime just escapes?
I don't know, man. I think that's a really hard question to kind of answer in our perspective. Because we don't see the big picture, right? We don't see, hey, is this like really popular? Is this doing really well? Does the writer or the original mangaka really want like to continue forward? Is he not like done yet, or she, in this case, if they've really made a complete finish, you know? Or as I don't know, has the popularity diminished on this one series or not? like look at is the manga sales doing really well, or like the manga viewership or anything. If you're talking about just how everything has gone digital.
Yeah,
now.
there's a lot to it. I won't deny that.
And ratings, etc. on the networks themselves that do it, and how much, again, as I said before, the sales of the manga itself, the willingness of the mangaka to keep going if he wants, or if he or she wants to continue the story, or if they feel like the story hasn't ended yet. Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to, I feel like, say if it's to determine if anything will end early or not, or whatever in our perspective. But
yeah. I'm just really curious if the law of diminishing returns will hit anime now that anime is getting far more sequels, right?
Right.
Because, like, for God's sakes, we're finally seeing. Speaking of shows that haven't aired for a while, fucking The Devil is a Part-Timer season 2.
Mm-hmm. That was
like I'm just
out of the blue.
I'm just kind of curious if like we will see that hit anime, because it feels like it hasn't.
Mm-hmm. I'm honestly a little. You know what, Marcel? No, I think diminishing returns will still be a big thing. I'm thinking that you got to really look at what's going on, really. I think it's kind of straightforward for most people. If it's not like a love project or whatever, or something that could be easily supported or anything like that, because it has a.
I don't.
If it does.
Oh,
if it does
man, I'm looking at some of the sequels that are on like their 3rd season, and like they're still just as strong as ever.
Yeah, but again,
like maybe it's because with anime, sometimes you're waiting a year or two just to see it again, right?
I feel like it's because it's anime. People can say, okay, we can drop it for now, and we'll see what happens in the future, type of thing. And they say that, but you know, sometimes it doesn't always happen.
But
like
you
that.
can say that with TV as well.
Yeah, and you know what? We have things like Fuller House that came out, and other sequels that probably didn't need a sequel, but you know what happened anyway. Or reboots that didn't really need to happen, but
But I'm
anyway.
trying to remember the last time something like that has happened for anime. Like it's happened with video games all the time. Just look at The Last of Us.
Are you talking about just the fact that they come back all of a sudden to the thing?
I'm talking about, yeah, a show that came back when it didn't need to.
Manjutsu no Index. Toaru no Railgun.
No, but those needed to. Those still had sequels. Those still had material.
Right, but I don't know. I don't know if you really can say that they needed it still.
Well, I mean, Railgun Season 3 was the best season of Railgun by a country mile.
Oh, yeah. Railgun for sure did amazing, but...
And I mean, Index sucked to begin with, but, like, when you still have viable material, especially if you still haven't hit the climax, like, in Index defense, they were just at the World War III arc, which was apparently the biggest arc in Index, right?
Could you technically argue that Boruto and Naruto didn't really need to happen? Or did they make material for Boruto before they made the anime itself?
Well, I wouldn't know about that, but I think Boruto, it's weird. I can see why Boruto happened. It's a perfect type of sequel to Naruto. But if you reverse the world and say you can make Boruto when it happened, I don't think we'd miss much.
Because I think Boruto was originally just a movie, too.
Yeah. Like, I don't look at Boruto and say that this is outrageously bad. It doesn't need to happen. But I'm looking at Boruto and saying that I wouldn't be that upset if it
didn't exist. Yeah,
it's not needed, but it's also not offensive or forcing something out, if you know what I mean, right?
yeah. I would have been just fine actually with just the movie itself. I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
sure this was just originally a movie, but yeah, I would have just been fine with just the movie. But I
Like,
guess they saw the popularity still, so
like
they
I'm
kept
looking,
going
like
with
I'm
it.
looking at Boruto, right? I'm like, okay, it's a worthy sequel, but it's also something that if it didn't happen, it wouldn't hurt the show. It wouldn't hurt the series.
I actually don't remember. I don't remember actually about some of these stuff. I don't know if Detective Conan actually is still going on with manga wise. It probably is, but I don't know.
But like stuff like Data Live 3 was the best of its series, and I was happy it was back. I'm glad we're getting Data Live 4. But like I'm trying to generally remember an anime series that came back that was forced and not needed. Like the first season ended fine. It ended in a place where like there's no real narrative to continue and whatnot.
Mm.
And I just generally can't think of an anime. I'm sure there's one. I'm absolutely certain there's an
I'm
anime like
certain
that.
there's a few.
But like,
or a bunch.
I don't know. I always feel like there's always new stories to tell with some anime.
Sure.
Like, let me just search my page, see if I was trying to find something, because like I'm genuinely curious if there was a show like that.
Did Sword Art Online or Alternative Gun Gale Online have a manga?
Yeah, it had a light novel.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, it had a light novel supervised by the owner. Yeah, it had its light novel was supervised by Reki, but it was made by Keiichi Sugasawa, and it's really good. Like, I think SAO GGO is really good.
Trying to think here.
But you know, nothing comes to mind. And that's weird because you think something would come to mind, right?
Tokyo Ghoul. Well, I feel like Tokyo Ghoul is kind of a weird case in this moment, too.
No, Tokyo Ghoul doesn't fit that.
Are you sure? Because season 2 was completely original, but they had source material, which they could have used.
Here's the thing. Season 2 was original in the sense they still followed the same timeline.
Oh. Okay, but I don't know, man. That seems like you didn't really need to do it that way.
Oh, of course I didn't, but that doesn't take the fact that it still was needed as a sequel.
Oh, man, I don't know. I can't think of anything. You're making me think too hard on this episode, Marcel.
Here's one. Steins Gate Zero.
Was that actually one with no source material?
No, it had source material, but also it makes me. I'm reading my review of it, and it's just it's like Steins Gate Zero is just as good as the original, right?
Okay.
But I also think it's a series that doesn't need to exist.
But, like, if there was source material for it.
No, but like what I'm saying is there was no need to write it.
Oh, like
it feels like it was written for the sake of written, because all Steins Gate Zero is showing how the main character, you know how at the end of the series red-haired girl was dead, right? And he went through a bunch of timelines to try to save her, but in the end he failed, but he was only able to get back to it because of an Okabe from another timeline, right? Remember?
I barely remember that.
Steins Gate Zero is just the story of how the Okabe from the other timeline did what he did, right?
Okay, so
That's all it is.
Steins Gate Zero was just showing the other side.
Yeah. And I just sat there, I'm like, do we really need 23 episodes of this? Like, it's great, don't get me wrong. I think Steins Gate Zero was amazing. I enjoyed it more than the original series, but like...
Can we argue that with Boruto as well, though, then?
Yeah, but Boruto had a purpose and had a... Like, it had an easy... Like, you could logically say Boruto could be made and work well because, you know, Naruto's son and whatnot. It flows well as a sequel. Here, it feels like they just wanted to make more Steins Gate and they needed a plot for it rather than trying to create something organic.
Well, then I'm going to throw in Detective Conan at this point. I think that kid has had enough.
That might be fair in its own right. I've never seen Detective Conan.
I think that kid has solved enough mysteries to figure out and thwart that black organization that made him into a kid in the first place. And they should be able to figure it all out. You know, you don't need any more future mysteries. You return to teenage mode and go forward from there. Also, everyone's stuck in an internal like time loop because like nobody's aged ever since he turned into a kid. Come on.
What about Pokemon?
Oh, I mean, I don't know what Japan wants with Satoshi anymore, man. I'm glad that they see a little bit of progression in the new one, right?
Here's the thing. While I mentioned Pokemon, there's no denying that like the previous seasons of Pokemon have been the best.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, are we done yet?
To an extent, yeah. But like we all like the original, right? The original, it's a classic. But in terms of animation, it's pretty awful.
Wasn't there a gun in one episode?
Yeah, there was actually.
I'm pretty sure also James like cross-dressed and had boobs.
Yeah. But like, you know, and then Best Wishes came around. Best Wishes was awful. Best Wishes 2 wasn't better, but then and at least the N episode had like story to it, but like pretty much the entirety of like Generation 5's anime was terrible.
Yeah,
but then Generation 6's anime was just great.
X, Y, and Z, boy.
Yeah, no, and like the characters were great. I loved Serena, but like they actually got the animation.
Yeah, no, the fights were crazy.
Like it's insane how much X and Y improved in the animation. And then of course there's Sun and Moon, which while the character designs were interesting, it still was pretty good. Probably one of the better series.
Well, it's just because there was that shift to more cartoony look.
And then of course, the Gen 8 series is going strong as well.
Yeah, and they've actually shown like the progression for Satoshi and everything like that for all the journeys that he's had, and like you go back in a sense to seeing everybody from the past generations at that point.
Yeah, which is always nice.
And you see he has progressed. He has done better, and he's doing better now. He's going forward and everything like that.
And it's just, though, again, as you say, if Pokemon replaced Satoshi with someone else, would we really notice a difference? Would it, like, if Ash was not in the show, would you feel like it wouldn't be Pokemon?
If they kept it the same way and they swapped,
Like, is Ash so connected to that show now?
I mean, yeah. I think if you go with the traditional route with Pokemon, yeah. But if you were to make a new, entire different show altogether, like, say,
Like, Ash like they go the Boruto route. Ash finally marries someone and stops being 10 years old.
That, or they, you know, do a Pokemon special one instead.
But no, I think the thing with Pokemon is that they really did a smart thing by improving the animation like they did.
Yeah.
Like, you remember, like, previous Pokemon, when they did a move, it was literally just a still screen of a Pokemon charging, and then they switched it over to a still screen of a Pokemon bashing into someone.
No, it was the still screen with the background movement, and then or like a weird, no background anymore, and then they use a move and they go, wah! It's like color
and now we
red.
actually have animation. I'm surprised they went that long without doing it. But anyway, let's talk about what we watched this week.
Oh yeah, how long has it been now?
It's been about a week.
About 30 minutes too.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk.
All right, Chewy, can you get me a couple steaks and a hammer, please?
Oh.
Because we're gonna crucify a show.
Oh.
Yeah. Osamake had quite possibly the worst first arc I've ever seen. And it's a shame because in terms of like character design, I fucking adore Shigeru Ui's design. I think they have just this bubbly nature to it that is very, very easy on the eyes. But oh my god, Osamake made me want to gouge my eyes out.
R.I.P.
So remember how I told you last week how the guy wanted to get revenge on the girl?
On the girl?
Yeah. Pretty much, boy wants to get revenge on girl because he wasn't able to go out with her, right?
Oh, and the guy that's going out with that girl did it because he knew that guy, like...
Yeah, was the child actor and he wanted to get revenge on him, right? So, we actually hit the climax to this. And, oh my god, it's spectacular, right? So, it's revealed that the girl, Shiro, who's dating the guy who wants to get revenge on Maru, right? Is childhood friends with Maru, but they haven't been together for a while because when Maru's mother died, he kind of sheltered himself, right? So Shiro reveals that, hey, I'm that person you thought I was a guy, but actually was a girl. And like, I love you, right?
Okay.
So fast forward a bit, there's this like confession festival, right?
Okay.
And after some of the worst animated dancing scenes, right?
Okay.
Like the dancing was atrocious.
R.I.P.
Maru confesses to Shiro in front of everyone, and Shiro rejects him stone cold.
Rip.
And then then they just decide to reveal everything, right?
Okay.
So it turns out that the guy who was dating Shiro they weren't actually dating. It was a fake relationship. Okay. And they're more brother-sister, right?
Okay.
Shiro was doing this because she was upset that Maru wasn't talking to her after his mother died, and that he forgot about their promise for Maru to act in a movie that she wrote the script for, right?
Okay.
So she wanted to get him to fall in love with her so she could break his heart and reject him because she was a vindictive, spiteful bitch. Oh, and here's the best part. You know the girl, Shida, who was helping out Maru? She wanted the same thing. She wanted Maru to confess his love to her so she could reject him.
To Sheeta?
Yeah, Sheeta, the girl who was helping Maru, right?
Okay.
She wanted Maru to confess his love to her so she could reject him. But in reality, they still love Maru and want to go out with him. Like, I'm sitting there just like, this is so overcomplicated. And what doesn't help is that...
That sounds so dumb.
And the anime even calls itself up on it, too. It's like, yeah, we're self-aware that this is dumb as shit. And it's just like, okay, it's still dumb as shit.
These girls seem like the type that would like to do cuckolding or something.
Like, they're literally, here's the thing, they're literally made to look like spiteful hags, and yet they still want him. The best line I saw was something along the lines of, let me get it. I have a picture somewhere that says the exact line. They all tried to get one of the others to love them just so they could reject them, but now they don't have anyone they want. Like, I'm just like, that isn't funny. It makes your two main girls look like spiteful assholes. So how are we supposed to enjoy them for the next 8 episodes, right? And why would Maru even willingly go back to them after, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just stupid. And I sat there for like 10 minutes just fucking blabbergasted at how bad this was.
Almost seems like, Alright.
Say that again?
Give me a second. Sorry, eating a cucumber. Eating a piece of a cucumber. Sorry, they seem like the type to like NTR. They like to NTR their loves, you know?
But what I don't get is that fucking, Shiro, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's friends with him as a child, and like, they're great friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she should, like, understand why he wasn't able to be around, right?
Yeah.
Like, literally, his mother died. And he didn't want to act, and that led to a distance forming. Shiro believed their promise was a lie, so Shiro decided to prove herself to him, working hard to become strong, pretty, and famous, and then acting her revenge by making him fall in love with him to reject him brutally. And I'm sitting there just like, but his mother died. Like, his mother died. No wonder he's going to be distant. He is literally trying to, like, are you? Like, this line right here. In the Confession Festival, Kuro rejects him in front of everyone, even though she actually loves him, humiliating him. And it's just like, what?
I can't. I gotta drink water.
Now,
I gotta drink water.
here's another one, right? At the time, Shiro, so we're talking about the girl, had already fallen in love with Kuro. After Kuro rejects Suihara, Shiro decides to seduce him in order to make him fall all in love with her again.
Okay.
Are you okay?
This is the dumbest shit ever. I can't help but laugh at dumb shit. This is the dumbest I've ever heard. Either we're like looking at the backstory of a psychopath or something, or a sociopath, or this is just really bad writing.
Like, I'm just like, what bothers me is that, one, how could Shiro not realize that his mother's death literally pulled them apart, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And two, even after she realized it, like that's the part that bothers me so much about this show. It completely kind of just kills why somebody should like someone, right?
Completely kills my interest in this anime. It just completely kills my my interest in this anime.
yeah, no, it does. And like, here's the best part, right? Here's the best part that I mentioned. In the confession festival, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's setting up. So here's the best part, right? So the whole part about the confession festival is setting up so he can confess to Shiro, right? And Shiro's standing there like, I'm planning to get you to. I want to, even though I love you, I want to reject you, right? He instead confesses to Kuro. You know, the girl who was pretending to be the fake girlfriend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she rejects him even though she loves him.
Yeah.
And it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. Like, I legit have to ask, what does this show want to be? Because it's like, let's be this lighthearted comedy, and then it's just like we got this whole NTR fetish. Like, that's the best way to describe it.
I looked at one of the comments on MAL. One of the comments or reviews is shaping up to be a nicer harem anime with a solid love triangle. The only way they can ruin this is with the ending, which is always tough with the harem show. Hopefully the childhood friend wins. Goes down a bazillion like spaces. It's just a bunch of like letters just stringing on for paragraphs after paragraphs after paragraphs after paragraphs after paragraphs after paragraphs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my lord.
Like, the show, like, think about it. You want the first 3 episodes in an anime are important. There's no like ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? This show might have had the worst first 3 episodes I've ever seen. Because it humiliates the main protagonist, and now will make him look stupid because eventually they all start coming back together, right? It B makes the main two female characters look like spiteful assholes.
Vindictive bitches.
Because what I need to point out is that after, when they're like doing the whole thing, you literally see Kuroha upset at herself. The same thing with fucking Shiro, and it's just like, then just go out with him.
Here's another review about the dance scene.
Oh, the dance scene is awful.
They look like they learned to dance from moving around in their mother's womb.
Oh, dude, the dance scene was horrendous.
Okay, are we done crucifying it yet?
And here's the thing, Chewy. I don't want to keep watching, but I kind of want to keep watching just to see how bad it gets.
Oh my god.
Like, right now I haven't dropped, but, like, I kind of want to keep watching just to see how just awful it gets.
Okay. Alright.
Like, they haven't even introduced the fourth main character yet, who literally comes to the school and immediately confesses her love for Maru because fucking he saw, well, you know, Suiharu get humiliated at the confession festival.
Yep.
And here's the thing, I'm like, well, why doesn't he just go out with her immediately? Because why would you want to go out with these two vindictive, spiteful bitches, right?
Yep.
Fuck. That was bad. Anyway, Chewy, talk about something you watched.
I don't know. It's been about a week. I don't remember what I watched. How many episodes of Tokyo Revengers came out already?
They had an episode this weekend.
Is it 3?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess let's talk about Tokyo Revengers.
I think the main gang leaders look so stupid, it's hard for me to take them seriously.
We have to also remember this is an alternate timeline, or not alternate time, but a different time altogether. Ourselves.
Even then, they look absolutely just laughably stupid.
Different culture, different time.
Chewy.
What?
I don't care if it's a different culture. I don't care if it's a different time. The fucking dude with the fucking downward bangs. Like, you're telling me these two are going to become notorious gang leaders to the point where they're scaring Tokyo? Fuck, they look like fucking teenage prom boys.
Well, they are teenagers, though. You expect them to look the same when they grow up?
I expect them to at least have a little bit of toughness to them, but they look so fucking fragile, it isn't even funny.
Okay.
But what I will say, their characters were quite interesting.
Oh.
And it makes me wonder if they're painting the main guy. What's his name? Let me just get his name, actually.
Takamichi?
No, not Takamichi. I'm talking about the
other leader?
The main leader.
Oh.
Because Takamichi isn't a leader. He's the main character.
No, yeah, I know that, but I thought that was what the other character you're talking about.
But I was talking about Manjiro.
Hmm.
By the way, as an adult, Manjiro looks even worse.
Hmm.
But, like, if they really did point it out that Manjiro apparently was this good person.
They're painting it, yeah, in a sense.
So by the way, why does the Tokyo Manji gang sign look like a backwards swastika?
Don't ask me.
I'm asking you.
Don't ask me. I don't know.
But, like, they're pointing at that Manjiro at least had a conscience to him, right? He's still evil because, you know, he's a gang leader. Most gang leaders aren't nice.
I think it's...
But they're painting that he has a conscience and a respect to him. And it kind of makes me wonder, how does this Manjiro become the Manjiro that's, you know...
Use the big top Yakuza
that led to the creation of what became, you know, the Tokyo Manji gang.
Yeah. Basically a Yakuza group, but yeah.
And then they obviously are trying to point it out that, oh, it's this guy in glasses. And it's just, okay. Interesting. Like, the whole third episode was just like, do not let this guy meet this guy.
Yeah, because together they'll be the worst of the worst.
The brother pointed out that if this guy meets this guy, that's what's going to lead to Tokyo Maji becoming what it is, and that's what's going to lead to the girl's death.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it does make me wonder, what's this guy do to pretty much, you know, turn the world into, turn Tokyo, that gang set into it, right? Are you gonna add anything?
Well, if I add too much, it's gonna be a spoiler.
Well, you can add a bit. Like, what'd you think of the animation?
Oh, no, I thought that was good. I thought everything was, they're sticking quite close, of course, to the story, which is nice. I look in retrospect, and I feel like there might have been a slight plot, or not plot hole, but like convenient time for Takemichi to forget who the second Majin leader was when he passed by the guy who literally looked like him. Just a little bit convenient, but hey.
What was the photo he saw of him?
It was that photo that you look back, the very beginning that Naoto showed of them in their older form. But he literally has the same smile and almost the same glasses. I'm like, I don't know how you can like miss that.
I just kind of hope that Tokyo Revengers has a conclusion.
Oh, I mean,
because like we still don't know how many episodes it's going to be. I haven't seen a number it's going to be. Let me just take a look.
A lot of manga chapters, so I don't know. Looks like they're getting quite close, though.
Well, I mean, Tokyo Revengers has 18, 19, 20 volumes. So, I mean, if you get 2 seasons out of it, you might be able to give yourself a conclusion.
Yeah. It gets really... how should I say? I can't really say anything now. Can I? No, I can't. Okay, well, again, I still think it's just very convenient that Takemichi just forgot. Or just happened to say, that guy seemed familiar. Have I seen him before?
Yeah, that threw me off a bit.
Yeah, he was able to remember Manjiro's face, but I totally forgot the other guy.
Well, to be honest, Manjiro didn't change too much.
Nor did the other guy, though. Maybe the hairstyle, but he still had the shit-eating grin and the glasses.
But, you know, I'm generally interested in how this is going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
I am hopeful it does not fall down like fucking, Erased did.
Dude, this might not even get an ending, honestly, anime-wise.
Yeah, but even then, Erased fell down writing-wise.
R.I.P.
I fucking don't even... Oh, I hate that show so much. But yeah, no, Tokyo Revengers has been good, and you manga readers were watching it, so shut the fuck up.
Another one. To Your Eternity.
Yeah, that was good. It's weird. Like, I'm looking at To Your Eternity and saying to myself, yeah, I see why this is great.
Mm-hmm.
But I also look at it and say to myself that if I had to rate it, it's not something I'd say you need to watch ASAP.
Well, yeah, because I feel like this is something you want to binge.
Like, it's great. I've loved the first 3 episodes. I thought the fight scene last episode was fantastic. And, like, I get this feeling I'm going to give it a 9 by the end of the year, by the end of the season, right? But if you asked me, what shows do I recommend watching? It's not on the list.
Okay.
Because it's weird. It's one of those shows that I feel is an acquired taste.
Okay.
Like, it's slow. It is very, it does not, there isn't much exposition, which is both a good and a bad thing. And because the main character just, well, doesn't talk until the end of episode 3, it just feels different.
Okay. So here's my notes on that. I think Marcel, you're gonna have to watch the entire series first before you continue saying that. Because the thing is, I think every single how should I say, key connection that by the way, the main character, the eternal immortal dude, his name's actually Fushi, but
yeah, I know, but his name hasn't been said in the anime, so why would I spoil it? Hey, fuck you. But no, like, I get it. I get everything about To Your Eternal. I think it's great. I think it's had one of the strongest 3 episode starts for this season. But I just don't know if I could sit here and say to I don't know if I could say to Taylor, go watch To Your Eternal.
Well, I could say it.
I don't know, man. I feel like To Your Eternal is something a lot of people will not connect with as quickly as other shows.
But that's the thing. I think it's because To Your Eternal kind of not only, it's a very slow build up, but also with every single connection that the immortal Fushi has, the story almost changes slightly every time. Because not only has time passed, not only has he moved to a different area altogether, it's like, as you said before, it was a world traveling type of thing in the beginning.
I really do think what you said is true. I think the best way to enjoy To Your Eternal is probably to wait till it ends, then watch it.
Yeah, just watch it all together. Because you'll have the full experience. And again, you do feel the different stories again, but it's all very slow at the beginning, but it's all very different at every turning aspect. Because, again, it's a different character that we keep bumping into, usually.
Like, again, I'm going to say this once again. I think it's great. But I'm also sitting there looking at it and saying to myself, man, I don't know if I could recommend this to people.
We'll wait until the end of the season.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I think that if you're going to watch To Your Eternity, it'd probably be better to wait till it's done.
Because it does have the potential. It's just that.
Yeah, no, I fully expect To Your Eternity to finish in like an 8 or a 9. I don't think it's going to hit a 10. I don't give 10s out that much anymore.
I think it's how should I say, with the episodes that are out right now, you would probably feel like it's very different and you might drop it or something.
But yeah, no, I'm saying watch it, but it might be best to wait till after it's done airing.
Right, yeah.
Alrighty, next on the docket is actually going to be Fruits Basket.
I hear it's getting kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is because I've mentioned it before. This whole season is pretty much the finale. It's called the final season for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole season is built around breaking Akito, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since I mentioned how Akito is so flawed to the point where she is gripping onto the bonds because, oh, I'm the king of the Somas. They'll be with me forever, right?
No.
And the second somebody leaves, she feels absolutely flawed since, she was raised as, oh, the Somas will always be there with you.
Mm.
And it corrupted her. Well, this episode, you saw the first chain kind of fall.
Oh.
So what happened is Haru, one of the Somas, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the quiet one he's the type of guy who's quiet and you don't think he's paying attention, but he's paying attention a lot.
Mm.
He snapped.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty much what happened is that Akito captured Rin, who Haru loved, and he left her in what was called the cat's dungeon to die.
Ooh.
Because how dare she try and, quotation marks, steal Haru. Well, Haru found out. And Haru threatened to kill him and Akito. And you can see that's the first bond gone because Haru cares more about Rin than Akito. And of course, Akito's freaking out. She's like, you can see it. She's like, when she's confronting him about it, it's like she's leading, she's evil. But the second Haru turns it on her, you'll see it. When Haru punches out the wood behind her, all of a sudden you see Akito become so fragile. Like, she switches from, you are mine to, oh my god, please don't leave me.
Yeah. Okay.
And again, it goes back to the point that I don't think Akito is evil. I just think she was corrupted.
Heavily misguided.
Yeah, because like I said, her father and mother both pointed out that the Somas, you are their god, right? So when people are leaving her, even though they're not technically leaving her, that's the thing.
Give me 1 second here.
Y'all good?
Feel free to keep talking.
Well, I'm just wondering what's the matter. But anyway, Akito is so corrupted that just people not putting her as like the be-all end-all to her is them leaving her. And you saw that with Haru. Haru wanted to make sure Rin was okay, and Akito was just like, no, you're supposed to love me. And it just kind of, you see these bonds slowly break. And the one thing I like is that the person who is most attached to Akito in Kurano is actually the guy who had his curse broken.
Okay.
Like, Kurano is a man who's like, he's been with Akito for a long time.
Okay.
But he's had his curse broken. So he doesn't have to be there. But he's there because he knows if he leaves Akito will break. Like, just completely break. Because if you think about it, the one she truly loves is Shigeru, right? But Shigeru left because he can't be with Akito if Akito
I think you told me this last time.
Yeah, if Akito is thinking like this, right? He doesn't want Akito to think that Shigeru loves her only because she is the Soma god. He wants Akito to realize that he loves her because, you know, he loves her.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting to see. And I am loving every time Akito just gets slapped in the face with reality.
Yep.
And I'm very, very excited for when, like Toru, she's starting to build up in her plan to break the bonds. Others are realizing that they need to break the bonds too, and man, it's just going to explode, and I'm going to love every single moment of it.
Yep.
Alrighty, it's on to you now, Lucas.
Another one?
Yeah, you must have watched more than one show.
Bakuten. Well, I already said I watched more than one show. To Your Attorney in Tokyo Revengers, there's already 2 right there.
Oh, yeah, no. Sorry, I'm used to you watching nothing. Anyway, Bakute. What the fuck is that again?
Bakuten Backflip.
Bakute. Oh.
Backflip, the rhythm gymnastics one.
Oh.
That's also set in the Miyagi Prefecture. Everyone seems to have a real hard-on for Sendai in the Miyagi Prefecture. I wonder why.
Who really knows?
Perhaps we'll go there one day and find out.
I mean, when we go to Japan, we might be able to.
Oh no, we'll be going there, Marcel. We'll be going to Kyushu and Fukuoka as well, and we're going.
I want to visit Kyoto one day.
We'll go to Kyoto and get our knobs cleaned. No kidding. Oh.
All right. Anyway,
pull on the bells,
Bakuten.
Backflip. So the team has found their first turtle. They're a team of 6 now, because originally it was just a team of 4, just the senpais. But they got 2 kohais now joined. So now they're a complete team of 6. And they suck. Because it's the first time that they have basically done a 6-man routine. And their practice was bad. It's very bad. Super bad. So bad. They just suck. They suck. So, in order to
get better,
progress, they actually went and set up a joint practice with one of the best teams in the prefecture, which turned out to be their rival school. Or, well, not rival school, but one of the schools that did really, really well last year. Took number 1, basically. You know, the whole very almost stereotypical kind of.
Oh, can we just take a quick time out for a second?
Sure.
You know the game. You know the card game Shadowverse.
Yes.
It has an anime.
Yeah.
I just realized that.
You didn't know though? I think it was last season or the season before that.
Yeah, it was last year actually, and it was terrible.
Oh yeah.
All right, moving on. Sorry, I was just looking at like what the studio's done before, and the first thing that came up was Shadowverse.
Yeah.
All right, continue.
So yeah, it's a stereotypical, you know, the strong school shows up, and we actually see a character that showed up in the first episode, which was how should I say, one of the other first year's old classmates or schoolmates. And this is the part where it gets kind of interesting, because besides the MC, who was completely new to gymnastics and everything like that, there is that other first year who is known to be one of the best in the prefecture in the solo category. And he was well known for that, right? The thing is, he did not win that current year's solo gymnastics. He was runner-up. And he lost to his schoolmate, basically, who just entered gymnastics, who's completely new, but he outclassed him completely. He was a protege, as they say, or prodigy. And it seems like there's a little bit of underlying story there. That's probably why he didn't go to the same school as that first year as well, and decided to go to this current school instead. Because he probably doesn't want to. He wants to, show that he's better, most likely, or I don't know. They haven't really gone too forward on that story area, but there's obviously something going on. Anyways, that team decides to do a practice to show decides to do their routine, one of their routines, and they just show them. And yeah, our MC and their team suck so much, man. They have so much to work for. They suck a lot. They suck.
Makes you wonder with 12 episodes how they're gonna do it, because you'd think that by the end of the series they'd be, well, not shit.
A lot of time skipping, probably.
Maybe, though I don't know if that would work in a 12 episode series.
A lot of time skipping and montage. Training montage.
Well,
your turn?
Of course, the thing I want to end my talk on this week is Higahiro, because I was so worried about this show, Chewy, but it's so good.
Well, okay.
It's found that itch where it's telling a cute and adorable story, but it's also telling an emotional story as well. I want to talk about the ending of it too, because the ending is that the girl who Yoshida confessed to, right, his boss, reveals that, no, I actually do like you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Yoshida's just like, okay, I want you to prove it to me, right? And
Okay.
Because he felt disrespected that, you're coming back now saying you like me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they get through it, and she realizes, okay, I will prove it to you. But then she's curious as to, like, what Yoshida's been doing, right? It's the one thing that got her antsy is because it looked like Yoshida had a girlfriend, and she was jealous. But of course, Yoshida's been taking care of Sayu. And the episode ends with her like, I want to meet this girl, right? So it flashes back to Sayu. And of course, Sayu, the second anything comes up with like Yoshida doing something outside of that,
right,
she gets hyper anxiety. Because again, Sayu's whole thing is she has zero self-worth. Like, remember how I stated, she could not believe that her doing chores was, like, considered good enough, if you know what I mean, right? So, this whole episode ends with Sayu just like, he's bringing
another woman,
her over.
Another woman.
She's bringing her over.
Another woman.
I guess I should go, right? Like, to her, Yoshida's just like, what's the best way to put it? I don't want to say she's choosing, since Yoshida's made it perfectly clear he has no sexual interest in Sayu. But to her, just him saying, let's hang out, bringing Goto over, makes Sayu believe that she's being abandoned again.
Okay.
Like, just the fact that he's saying, hey, this person's coming over to the place is just making Sayu think, I'm going to be abandoned.
You're gonna get cucked.
But in the end, it's Goto just wanting to meet Sayu. So it's little moments like that that make it really good. Plus, you know, the part in the middle where Sayu's new coworkers mentioning how Sayu has many different smiles, and that it's still going to be a while before Sayu opens up and whatnot.
Ah.
And of course, they showed off a little bit of like they gave a little hint as to what made Sayu run away and whatnot. And yeah, no, it's weird to me because like I'm looking at it saying, "Oh, Vivi's been great, My Hero's been great, 86 has been incredible."
86 has been great.
I think the best show this spring thus far is Higehiro.
Oh. Shaman King's been okay too, actually.
I haven't been watching Shaman King.
Zombieland Saga Revenge has been pretty decent too.
Yeah, but I just think Higehiro has it. I think the only other show that's close to it right now is 86.
I think it's time for us to go to Saga, Marcel.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna.
Let's do a quick mention of 86 because I want to talk about its ending.
Before you do that, I guess I'll quickly go. Mashiro no Oto, another good episode. They seem to play a song every single episode, but hey,
That's
I'm not
usually what
complaining.
music animes go.
I'm not complaining. Shut up.
All right, but yeah, no, 86, episode 3.
Right. Yes.
One, I like how 86 has been telling its stories with first the visuals on one side, then a quick little thing, and then you see like the conversation from another side, right?
Mm.
Though it's weird. Lena deserved the wake-up call that she got at the end of episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that it was handled so wrong that it could end up just scaring her away, and then they're stuck with another handler who doesn't give a shit about them.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way the girl was handling it was perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was doing it softly, telling her you need to smarten up. But I also get why the boy just ripped her head clean off, even though I think like he was in the total wrong for doing it. He was working on emotion, right?
Yep.
And it's moments like that that just grip me into 86 because I don't see a way for this story to not go without Lena going to the 86 district at some point. It just feels like that's the way the story's going.
Why don't you call us by our names? Why didn't you ask us our names?
Well, I could get why they were upset about it. She's trying to be like, oh, I'm different, I'm this, I'm that. Doesn't even know their fucking real names.
Doesn't
right?
even attempt to ask them, really.
Yeah. And the girl who, you know, sadly died was pushing at it the right way.
Right, yeah.
But again, I don't see 86 going any way other than Lena going to the 86 district.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels like that's the way the story's setting it up.
Yes.
It also makes me want...
Everyone dies.
Yeah. But, yeah, no, I thought 86 again was great. It's been just shockingly competent.
And then there's Burning Kabaddi.
That was good.
Burning Kabaddi. And Sayonara Watashi no Kramer. Very consistent. Very consistent.
But, Chewy, last week I talked about PA Works. This time, Chewy, he wanted to talk about level 5.
Why are we talking about level 5, though? I know
well,
why
you're
we were
the
talking
one who
about...
chose to.
I know why we were talking about PA Works. It's because you wanted to talk about...
Chewy, we literally went in a conversation yesterday.
Did we? I don't
Yes!
know. Was it because we wanted to see what their downfall was?
Well, no, I was asking you what should we talk about, and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, let's talk about level 5.
Yeah, but I also want to have an a big reason why, or not a big reason, but the reason why we're talking about level 5.
Which is, you're the one who wanted to talk about it.
God, I don't know, man. I guess it's because I wanted to see what was, besides, I just wanted to go back and I guess and see like the slow, very slow, tiny downfall level 5 had with their not being very popular and leading to the close of the North America.
But here's the question, though. was level 5 even that popular to begin with outside of Japan?
I don't know.
Because you look at, let's look at level 5's games, right? They have this game called Dark Cloud, this RPG on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Never heard of that. Looks like shit. It literally looks like a Zelda ripoff.
North America, 2001.
And of course it had a sequel, but I never heard of that game.
Spiritual sequel. Dark Cloud was met with mainly positive reviews by critics who praised its blend of gameplay types. Although some criticized its combat as repetitive, the game was a commercial success. Although it initially sold poorly in Japan, it eventually went over to sell over 800,000 copies worldwide.
It's released a couple of the Dragon Quest games. It released Dragon Quest 8 and Dragon Quest 9.
Yeah, Sentinels of the Starry Sky, I think, was number 9 on the DS. That one, I think, broke record sales within Japan, set a Guinness World Record for its anonymous communication mode. Critically, the game has been well received both inside and outside of Japan.
Yeah,
But that's because the thing is, that's not their own work, though. Who was the original? Square Enix, sorry, decided to or wasn't it Square Enix? Or was it Sony that owns Dragon Quest?
I would not be surprised to be there. Let me Google it.
Was it Nintendo?
Oh, it's published by Square Enix.
Right. So I believe they gave this to level 5, but with somebody being one of the directors or something.
Yeah, kind of like what Nintendo's doing with the Platinum remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Square Enix took over for Dragon Quest X and, of course, Dragon Quest XI.
Yeah. But Dragon Quest 9 was actually really, really good, too.
Yeah, I can see that. I never played it. But I think the biggest issue with level 5, when you can look at it, is that their games are incredibly niche.
Yeah, they are.
There's the Professor Layton series, which is all well and good, but, you're not going to get a big sale out of that, right? As long as Ace Attorney exists, Professor Layton will never be popular.
Well, okay, let's look at Professor Layton's sales.
But, then there's INAZUMA 11, which you adore, but I think you're the only person I've heard ever play that game.
Layton series games have shipped over 17 million units by June 2018.
Yeah, but let's compare it to, say, again, Ace Attorney. Since, Ace Attorney is comparable to it, right?
By June 2018, the series had sold over 6.7 million units.
That's a little surprising. Granted, it looks like fucking Layton's been going on for quite some time, though.
They first started in 2007.
Oh no, Ace Attorney's been going on for just a bit longer. But it does feel that Ace Attorney is more popular, though. Maybe that's just because Capcom has been more consistently releasing Ace Attorney in the West.
Maybe it's because Capcom has more of a presence in the West.
Yeah, that is. Though we did just talk about last week how Capcom tried to almost kill themselves.
Yes, but again,
But again, though, is Professor if you're gonna create these are our big hitters, right? Is Professor Layton going to get people's interest?
I don't know.
I don't think so. What about INAZUMA 11?
By 2016, the game sold over 8 million copies worldwide.
Again, though, is that going to get people's interest?
Let's see here.
Let's find a studio. Okay. Who did this guy? Give me a second. Let's find let's compare it to Nippon Ichi Software, right?
Okay.
Nippon Ichi Software is the same guys who did what is it? Fucking where are you? The guys who did the Disgaea series, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guys who did the where is that name? Oh wow, they did Utoden Prince. I didn't know that. I'm just trying. They've released a lot of games. Give me a second. They did Disgaea. They did fucking. I know they've did more than that. They did Yeast. Weren't they the guys that did the Trials, or was that who the hell did Trials of Cold Steel? Oh, it was Nihon Funcom who did that. Okay, I was wrong about that.
INAZUMA 11, the first one, back in 2008, the first week sold in Japan, was the first best-selling game in Japan that week, releasing at 41,000 copies.
But we're also talking about how these people did in the West too, right?
Let's see here. IGN 7.5. Wow, there's no really talk about
And that's just the thing, like, say what you want, like, Nippon Ichi Software, they got stuff like, the Neptunia series, which is big in the West. Disgaea, again, big in the West. Well, no, it's not Neptunia, but like Compile Heart, the people who do Neptunia, they're big in the West simply because of Neptunia. But that also allows them to do stuff like Data Live, spin-offs that, again, do well in the West. What I'm asking mostly is, if you're level 5, where are the games that you could plant up and say, Western audience, love them, right? Because the only one I can think of is Ni no Kuni. Like, Yokai Watch tried and failed because Pokemon could never... You can't beat Pokemon.
No, and I don't think they should have... Well, I don't know if they were trying either. But the thing is, like, you have to realize that it's a completely different game, level 5. So they tried their best to make it a different game after that.
Yeah.
It's just that it was... It's still so Japanese-oriented with everything, right? So you have to realize at that point, you either need to hook them into with something, or...
But here's the thing, you can say the same thing about fucking Ace Attorney.
Sure.
That has a hook in the West like no other. Disgaea 5. Like, the Disgaea series is big in the West.
I'm pretty sure INAZUMA 11's pretty big, too.
You are the only person I have ever heard mention INAZUMA 11.
Well, that's because nobody talks about it.
But that's my point. I don't see INAZUMA 11 on the internet at all.
Let's see here. Can we just look at the charts for this? I can't find charts for this. I mean, the first, what should I say? The first series is pretty popular when it was back on the regular DS. 3DS ones with the INAZUMA 11 Go series kinda was stretching it, though it did get a little bit better, but at the same time, not really good. There was a few spin-offs that came out for the Wii. I don't know what else then happened. And then there's that delayed Eris game that will be coming out for the Switch later on, but who knows if it'll ever be localized. But no, I'm pretty sure that Lightning 11 or INAZUMA 11 was a pretty... Overall had a decent... and maybe better reception in overseas than not just in Japan itself. It was a big thing though in Japan, the first series. I won't deny
But
that.
again, I don't think I've ever heard of INAZUMA 11 being this masterful game in the West. It's niche.
Yeah.
And if we want to talk about how Level 5 left America, well, it's simply because they had no good titles in the West.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks that it's that simple, but it's just the truth.
Besides Ni no Kuni, yeah, there wasn't really...
And even then, Ni no Kuni wasn't that big, but it was the biggest one they had.
Yeah, everything else was... What? They had Little Battlers experience, which is LBX.
Mm-hmm. Like we mentioned, Yokai, like Yokai Watch 4 didn't even see a release in the West.
No, it was unfortunately. It was okay. They had said they would do it, but then like shortly after, the American branch got shut down, so that obviously threw a wrench into that. So it's either them been canceled or severely delayed.
Like here's the thing. When you want to look at why they failed in the West, it's because their best known series are Dark Cloud, which hasn't seen a new title since 2001, Professor Layton, incredibly niche, INAZUMA 11, niche, Yokai Watch failed in the West, Snack World, what the fuck is that, and Ni no Kuni.
I feel like Yokai Watch did fairly well, but just wasn't big enough, honestly.
If it did good, it would have been here. Still.
Well, it was good enough for 3 of the 4 games, all being on the 3DS, though.
But even then, you look at Compile Heart, which still releases in the West. The Hyperdimension Neptune series literally keeps this thing afloat, and it's huge in the West.
Yeah, I don't know. The reception wasn't that great, and maybe it's because they didn't advertise well enough.
And then, of course, you look at Nihon Falcom. They just released Yeast Monster Noxtrum. They just released another Legend of the Heroes, and they're going to release another Legend of the Heroes.
Because the thing is, Marcel, these games were not that bad. INAZUMA 11 to the core was a soccer role-playing game.
I'm not saying that.
No, I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying that I feel like something there fell apart. It was most likely their presence in America, maybe most likely their advertisement too. I don't know. I've never seen a lot of advertisement for another.
Let's be real though. Most of the games they release are ultra Japanese.
Yokai Watch, yeah.
Same thing could be said about INAZUMA 11. Like, that's just the thing. Those games are good. There's no denying it. But they don't have the same grab and pull that other games were. Like, again, there's the reason Yokai Watch failed in North America is simply because Pokemon exists.
Yeah.
Like, it did good. 400,000 units on the 3DS is respectable. But again, with Pokemon literally just dominating everything, how was Yokai Watch supposed to build a following, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with INAZUMA 11. It does not help that INAZUMA 11 only released it on the DS and the 3DS.
But that was the only...
But like that, again, the 3DS and DS are literally, again, things that were already a bit niche to people to begin with.
I mean...
Like, think about it. The 3DS and DS were in the era of the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 4, right? Those would dominate people's eyes. especially in the West. Nintendo is only starting to take over in the West now because the Switch is so goddamn amazing.
I feel like if Level 5 had even tried to attempt to do something with Sony, which they might have because they apparently had a pretty close relationship there in the early history, but
yeah, a lot of their games released on the PS2 as well.
I don't know if it would have had the same.
It might have led people to finding the games more.
Because I understand why it started off on the DS. I think it was because it was such a different idea. Well,
I mean, when the original INAZUMA 11 was released, it was released in 2008 when the DS was literally like that.
Like what?
Hell, every INAZUMA game released on the DS and then was re-released on the 3DS. Hell, they were all re-released at the same date, same time, December 27th, 2012.
What? The re-release?
Yeah, INAZUMA 11 saw a re-release on the 3DS, December 27th, 2012. INAZUMA 11 2 saw a re-release, same day, same with INAZUMA 11 3.
Oh, no, it's because they were all compressed into one game. It was called INAZUMA 11 1 2 3.
But, like, that's the... You aren't... Here's the thing. You aren't going to gain headway unless you are a major powerhouse on the 3DS.
It didn't really help that they also didn't... like, when they released the game, it wasn't released globally. Always was, like, a big delay of, like... I don't know. I don't even remember when the first game came out for the rest of the world, honestly, because 2008 was still, I think, for Japan itself.
Yeah, that was during the whole nightmare of, like, Keiji Inafune saying Japan gaming industry is dead.
Yeah.
But, like, if you look at the releases, the only games to release on non-Nintendo 3DS is, in, like, the past 10 years, is White Knight Chronicles 2 and Ni no Kuni.
Yeah.
Like, this Time Travelers game saw a release on the PS Vita and the PlayStation Portable, along with Little Battlers. But other than that, it's strictly 3DS with... INAZUMA 11 Go seeing a release on the Wii.
I think that's the only other system at that point that they put out besides the phone. There was the Wii and the Wii. No, not
yeah.
the Wii,
Yokai Watch saw a release on the Wii U, and then of course, Ni no Kuni 2 saw a release on PlayStation 4 and Windows.
Yes, there was. Actually, I'm pretty sure that was another game they also put out there. Was it SD on the phone, or was it the...
I want to know. And, like, Yokai Watch 4 saw release on the PlayStation as well, but, like, again, we're gonna bounce it back. Level 5 just has nothing.
It's weird. It really is, honestly. You think that they would have kept going with PlayStation somehow with other stuff.
Yeah, they literally just stopped outside of Ni no Kuni and White Knight Chronicles.
They did the PlayStation Portable, actually, with the first Damn Ball Senki.
Yeah, but let's be real. If you want something to die, you send it to the PlayStation Portable.
The Vita as well.
Same thing can be said about the Vita.
Oh, hey, and then Yokai Watch 4 hit PlayStation 4, but that's when it was only stuck in Japan.
Yeah, and I mentioned that already.
Yeah, it's still in Japan, though.
But, like,
yeah, that's the thing.
If we're talking about, like, small companies, the companies I mentioned, Nihon, Kampai Heart, Nippon Ichi Software, they all have games that people can attach to that are big. Like, Disgaea is really loved in the West. Nihon Falcom have the Yeast series, they have the Legend of Heroes series. Yeah, those are niche per se, but they're also releasing on multiple fucking consoles too.
Yeah.
Like, for example, their latest games all released on the Switch, Windows, and PlayStation, with outside of their latest Legend of the Heroes series, all their latest 4 games also released on Stadia as well. So like they're able to spread their reach out far better.
Yeah, this seems like it has, like, level 5 has potential, but the thing is it started off so centralized in Japan for too long, and then it decided not to really just go into multi-platforms. It's sad. But at the same time, they actually went and developed the first INAZUMA 11 game with the DS in mind because of how they did the whole touchscreen and the dual screen modes and everything, how it was used. That would not have been able to be ported over to any other system. So they would have to figure out something else altogether then at that point if they wanted to do a multi-platform, which might have been too much work for them at that point. Because they were so invested into it.
The biggest issue with them is A, sticking to one platform, as you say, but B, they just do not promote themselves well in the West.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. Let's take a look at Nippon Ichi Software. Disgaea 6 is being promoted to just perfection.
Yeah, but that's the thing. What did they do in the very beginning, though? Like how am I supposed to know? Exactly.
But like, look at Disgaea 6, right? Hell, even the previous Disgaea games are promoted, right? Like Disgaea 6, they're releasing these weird class trailers, these quirkiness. It's got something that makes you want to watch, and then they're like, oh yeah, you know what? Here's a VTuber pack where you can play as Flare, Fubuki, Watame, Rushia, and who was the last one? Fuck, I forget it. This is shameful.
I think at this point, it's more the fact that company was more willing to embrace...
Polka, that's it. The last one was Polka.
I think they were more willing to embrace their fandom more.
But even then, fucking, you look at...
No, but here's the thing. You didn't expect them to do this type of advertisement if it was their first game being released in Western wise. You'd see just the very typical advertisement. But because they were so connected to their community, most likely, they're more connected in a sense by directing their advertisements strictly at them with all these, like, you know, new on add-ons, these targeted type of advertisements. I think another downfall of level 5 was that they never connected with them like that. They didn't understand their international audience, and they never tried to attempt to really connect with them almost. You know what? That's probably why they closed. they're North Americans, because they never... Not only did they have a presence, they didn't have a presence, but they didn't attempt to make a presence. They didn't try to attempt to connect. Because, like, I don't even remember the fact that they had a level 5 of North Americans operating HQ out here, honestly. I thought it was all still being done internationally from Japan themselves.
I mean, that's pretty much it, though. Like, companies like Compile Heart, Nippon Ichi Software, Nihon Falcon have found ways to connect with the West after look at Compile Heart in the Mega Dimension Neptune series, right?
Yeah, they embraced it, right?
But also, they're the guys who make Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Yeah, but
so like they understand that, like,
they know their audience, they understand their audience, and they're connecting with them,
and they know how to promote themselves.
Yeah, due to the fact that they're connecting with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So level 5, I feel, is just what. Whoever their freaking PR guys are, they need to freaking fire them. What the heck?
Yeah, no, I really do agree that level 5's biggest failure in terms of America is how they really did not promote themselves well.
Or connect well, in the sense, in order to promote themselves well. Because don't get me wrong, there's probably people all over the world that enjoyed the series. I mean, I know a lot of Europeans that like this, and even actually a fair bit of Americans as well. But it's just
like, you know, it's bad when I say this. The only reason I played Ni no Kuni 2 was because I saw the IGN review. I saw no trailers before that. Literally, I saw the IGN review and I'm like, oh, this looks cool.
That's sad. The only reason why I ever got into INAZUMA 11 was because I bumped into I think it was the anime. And I was like, huh, this looks very interesting. Then I looked at the games and I was like, wow, these look fun. And I went ahead and I bought one and I played it and I was like, wow, this is actually really fun. Too bad I can't read anything.
Yeah, but like, that's just, I think that really nails what level 5 did wrong, is that they did not promote themselves well. They have incredibly niche games that need a specific audience, and they A, did not release enough on different systems, and B, they just did not promote themselves at all.
C, they also didn't understand their fan base. They never got to connect with the international fan base. They did well, like incredibly well, Marcel, in Japan. Like INAZUMA 11 was still, probably to this day, if you ask somebody around our generation, they would probably say, oh yeah, I've heard of it, or something like that. But it just outside of Japan is just, no, it's almost non-existent. If you ask maybe 10 people, you probably
if you asked who made Ni no Kuni, they'd probably say Square Enix.
Yeah, or something like that. Level 5 is just not well known, and it's really sad.
And it really does make me impressed with companies like Compile Heart, like Nihon Falcom, who have found places in the West with their quirky games, or like they're well-promoted games.
Yeah. It's just too bad. Just these other... I mean, they deserve it. For sure. It's just that I wish these other small companies would just, follow suit or find their own type of niche. Or not niche, but like connection. And then advertise them via that connection, Or else you're going to shut down your American operations in 2020, which nobody knew you had, except the people that worked there. But yeah,
look at let's end this by looking at the guys who made the No More Heroes series.
That would
Grasshopper and Suda 51.
Okay.
Like, let's be real. Travis Strikes Again was terrible. But Suda at least understands what his games are.
They're ridiculous.
They're ridiculous, insane games. And while releasing them in Japan, he also, releases worldwide. Like, No More Heroes 3 is hype as fuck.
Was it you that said this or something? When he had released No More Heroes 2? People were like, oh, it's not very good, nobody will remember this type of thing. And then he goes, fuck you, this will be a cult classic.
No. I know what you're talking about. He released the trailer for No More Heroes 3, and they made a reference to Travis Strikes Again, which, again, is a very bad game. And then he goes, fuck you, it'll be a cult classic in 5 years. Like, that's just the type of I do what I fucking want attitude. You just have to respect, even if it leads to terrible boss fights, but, that's a whole other story.
Oh, geez. Actually, there's a game that was co-made by Grasshopper Manufacturer in level 5. Ugh, that did not do well.
But, if you just... That's the type of thing I mean when somebody from Japan understands how to promote their game.
Yeah. Or
Like,
just
No More
really
Heroes
get
1
the-
was niche as fuck, but it was great. No More Heroes 2 was fantastic.
No More Heroes what?
No More Heroes 1.
Oh, yeah. I thought you said 4 for some reason. I was like, is there a 4? Yeah, it's sad. Oh well, maybe he'll just become a streamer and play level 5 games and just, only do that.
I mean, it makes you wonder why level 5 failed.
You know what? I'm a promote level 5 hardcore, and then I'm gonna go like, hey, make me a fucking character in your game, cause I promoted the heck out of it. You see those sales? Probably 100,000 of those were from me.
Yeah.
Now put me as a free DLC in the next game, or this current game. Give
If
me
only
some
you
really
wish.
weird moves. No, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm going to do it. This video channel, Marcel, this ARPG is gonna turn into just ARPG games. No more podcasts. It's just gonna be me playing very INAZUMA 11 and other things. Probably Professor Layton. I only played the first one and I did really bad. Didn't even finish it, I don't think. Go back to Dragon Quest then. See if I can get LBX. Play Nino Kuni. Oh well. Okay, well.
But that was actually a surprisingly good talk.
Was it?
Yeah, I liked it.
Are you sure?
I am quite sure. Next week, we'll go back to talking about anime for this segment.
I'm gonna lend you my Japanese 3DS and you're gonna play Nazuma 11.
But Chewy, that involves you leaving your house.
Does it?
Yes,
You sure?
quite sure.
I don't know, man.
Get the fuck out of the background, by the way.
I feel like there's most likely something called postal services.
Chewy, if you send me it via the post office, I will send it right back to you.
Then I'll send you a picture of a dead guy.
This has been ARPG episode I Don't Know. We will see you next time, people.
I think it's 21 or 20. 21 probably.
Have a good one.
Fire tornado.
Hi, Lucas.
Fire tornado.
Well, that was a good episode.
I haven't ended it yet.
You still haven't ended it yet?
You know, you're still going. You're still talking. Hi. Fire tornado.